The Screaming Stone of Java. My camera lens has seen things that would make most people scream. But what I saw in the heart of East Java wasn't just a discovery. It was a death sentence. Most travelers go to Indonesia for the beaches. I went for the shadows. I found a temple that looked like it was built from human skin, hidden where the sun never touches the ground. They warned me about the Screaming Stone. They said if you hear it, the jungle has already swallowed your soul. I made it back to Los Angeles. But the silence in my house is gone, because every time I close my eyes, I'm back in that green hell watching the statues turn their heads to look at me. And the worst part, my own face is starting to look like theirs. My name is Marcos. I'm a travel documentarian. My job is to find the places people are too afraid to visit. In 2024, I heard whispers of a place called Candi Penjerit, the Temple of the Screamer, deep in the unmapped forests of Java. Local guides in Banyuwangi wouldn't even take my money. "That place is hungry, Marcus," one old man told me, his hands shaking. "It doesn't want your photos, it wants your presence." I should have listened. But I had a 4K drone, a satellite phone, and the arrogance of a man who thought he was invincible. I trekked for 3 days. The deeper I went, the more the jungle changed. The trees didn't look like trees anymore. They looked like twisted, agonizing limbs reaching for the sky. The air was thick with the smell of wet copper, the smell of old blood. On the 4th day, I found it. It wasn't a grand temple. It was a jagged, black spire made of volcanic rock, rising out of a clearing. But as I got closer, I realized the rock wasn't smooth. It was covered in hundreds of faces, not carved, but molded. It looked as if people had been pushed into the molten rock while they were still alive. Their mouths were all wide open, frozen in an eternal scream. I set up my tripod. My hands were trembling, not from cold, but from an instinctual dread. I took a photo. The click echoed through the silent jungle like a gunshot. And then I heard it, a faint, vibrating hum coming from the ground beneath my feet. It sounded like 1,000 people whispering under the earth. "Vera, diagnostic on audio levels." I whispered into my lapel mic, but there was no response. My gear was dead. The camera, the drone, the satellite phone. All of them went dark at the same time. Then, the first scream happened. It didn't come from the forest. It came from the stone spire. One of the faces, a man with deep, hollow eye sockets, slowly opened its jaw wider. A sound tore through the air, so loud and shrill it felt like my eardrums were bleeding. I turned to run, but my boots were stuck. The ground was no longer dirt. It was soft like mud, but it felt warm. I looked down and screamed. The earth was turning into a gray, thick sludge, and it was pulling me in. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement. The statues, they weren't statues, they were things. Figures made of the same black, porous rock. They glided toward me with a sickening, grinding sound. They didn't have faces, just smooth black surfaces where eyes should be. I pulled my leg free with a sickening pop and ran. I didn't care about my expensive camera. I sprinted blindly into the trees. Behind me, the screaming intensified. It sounded like my own mother's voice, then my father's, then my own. "Marcus, stay with us. The stone is cold. We need your warmth." I tripped and fell into a ravine, tumbling through thorns that sliced my skin. I lay there in the dark, my heart hammering against my ribs. I could hear them above me. Scratch, scratch, scratch! The sound of stone fingers digging into the bark of the trees. He is near. A voice hissed, a voice that sounded like grinding rocks. He still has his light. Take it. I stayed in that ravine for what felt like years. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I clutched a small pocket knife, ready to end it before they could touch me. When the sun finally broke through the canopy, the forest was silent again. I crawled out, my body covered in deep, jagged cuts. I found my way back to the village by sheer luck. The old man who had warned me was sitting on his porch. He didn't look surprised. He just looked at my hands. "You touched the stone, didn't you?" I looked down. My fingertips were gray. Not dirty, gray. I tried to rub it off, but I couldn't feel them. They were hard, cold. I flew back to Los Angeles the next day. I tried to see a doctor, but they found nothing wrong. Just a fungal infection, they said. But it's not an infection. It's been 6 months. The gray has spread to my elbows. My skin is becoming rough like sandpaper. Every morning I wake up and find a pile of black dust on my bed sheets. But the worst part is the sound. At night, when the city goes quiet, the screaming starts. It's faint, coming from inside my own bones. A wail that never stops. I looked in the mirror this morning. My jaw can open much wider than it used to. My eyes are starting to sink into my skull. I'm becoming one of them. I'm becoming a face on that spire. Last night I heard a knock on my door. I looked through the peephole. There was no one there. But on the floor was a single black volcanic rock. It's waiting for me to go back. If you're watching this, don't look for the hidden gems, because some gems are just teeth, and the earth is always hungry. I can't feel my legs anymore. I'm going to sit in my chair now. Working the night shift at St. Jude's Hospital isn't for everyone. Most people think it's the silence that gets to you, or the way the fluorescent lights hum like they're trying to whisper something just behind your ear. But they're wrong. It's the rules that break you. On my first night, the head nurse handed me a laminated card. No welcome, no orientation, just 3 rules. Rule 1, never look into the mirrors after 3 a.m. Not the bathroom mirrors, not the elevator mirrors, not even your own reflection in a dark window. If you see movement, look away immediately. Rule 2, if you hear a patient laughing inside room 412, do not enter. Ward 4 has been closed since the fire of 1984. No patients, no staff, no reason for anyone to be there. Rule 3, if a man in a black suit asks you for the time, tell him your watch is broken, even if it's ticking right in front of him. Especially then. I laughed. I thought it was some stupid hazing ritual, a sick little joke for the new guy. Then I checked the security monitors, and on camera 3, I saw myself standing at the nurse's station, perfectly still, watching the hallway. The only problem was, I was already sitting in the security booth, and the version of me on the screen didn't have a face. That was the moment I should have quit. I didn't, because by then, it was already too late. My name is Marcus Hale. I was desperate enough to take the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. security shift at St. Jude's. Most people in town avoided the place. It sat on the edge of the city like something people had agreed not to talk about. Old brick walls, a reputation soaked in bad stories. They said children used to disappear there. They said one entire ward burned with patients still inside. I didn't believe any of it. I believed in rent. I believed in overdue bills. The first 2 weeks were boring, painfully boring. But the night staff had this weird habit. Nobody ever stayed near Ward 4. If someone had to go upstairs, they went fast, like the hallway itself was watching. I asked a nurse about it once. She just said, "Some floors remember things." Night 15 was when everything changed. The air felt heavy. The hospital smelled like old antiseptic and rotting lilies. I hated that smell. It reminded me of funerals. At 2:43 a.m., camera 9 flickered, Ward 4. Static rolled across the screen, and then it cleared. And there she was, a little girl standing alone in the middle of the hallway, thin hospital gown, bare feet, and in her hands, a dirty teddy bear with its head missing. She was staring directly into the camera. Something about it made my stomach tighten. Recognition. Like a dream I couldn't quite remember. The elevator ride to the 4th floor felt longer than usual. When the doors opened, cold hit me. Winter grave cold. I walked to the exact spot where I'd seen her. Nothing, no girl, no teddy bear. Then I looked down. Footprints, small, bare, pressed into the thick dust. They led straight to room 412. The door was charred black around the edges. Rule 2. If you hear a patient laughing, do not enter. I stood there listening. I heard it. Not laughter, crying, a child sobbing. Deep, broken sobs. I'm a father. Logic stops mattering when you hear that. I grabbed the handle and opened the door. The room was empty. Rusted bed frame, burn marks on the walls. But the crying was louder now, closer. Then my radio crackled. The radio was off. I had taken the battery out downstairs. Still, it spoke. "Marcus." A little girl's voice, soft, wet. "Marcus, is it time?" I backed away. My throat went dry. The voice wasn't coming from the radio anymore. It was behind me. I turned and saw him. At the far end of the hallway stood a man in a black suit. Too tall. His head nearly touched the ceiling. He stood perfectly still, like he'd been waiting. Then he started gliding toward me. His shoes made no sound. "Excuse me," he said. His voice sounded like stones grinding underwater. "Do you have the time?" My hand moved to my wrist. My watch, 3:07 a.m., ticking, too loud. Rule 3. Tell him your watch is broken. My watch. "It's broken," I stammered. He stopped, 10 feet away. His skin was stretched tight over bone. No expression. He tilted his head, slowly, farther, until it bent at a sickening 90 degrees. "Are you sure? Because I can hear it. Tick, 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 just like your heart." I turned and ran. Pure animal panic. I hit the ground floor and locked myself in the security booth. I looked at the monitors. Camera 9. The man in the black suit was standing in front of the camera. He raised his hand. In his palm was a watch, my watch. I looked down. My wrist was bare. Around my skin was a thin red line, perfectly circular, like something had been cut off. Then another monitor flickered, the one showing me. I saw myself sitting there, terrified, and behind me, in the shadows of the booth, the man in black was leaning over my shoulder. I didn't turn around. I knew better. The desk phone rang. Caller ID, room 412. I picked it up. Maybe terror makes you obedient. "Hello." Silence, then breathing. "Marcus, you forgot rule 1. My blood turned to ice. I looked at the small mirror on the wall. It was 3:10 a.m. In the reflection, I wasn't there. I saw a burned body, blackened skin, empty eye sockets leaking smoke. It was wearing my name tag. Marcus. It smiled. Then it reached through the glass. Its hand wrapped around my throat. Ice cold, burning hot, both at once. It whispered, "You came back." Suddenly, flashes hit me. Smoke, screams, the heavy sound of a door being locked from the outside. A memory that wasn't mine, yet felt like a debt unpaid. I had been here before. I knew this smell. The last thing I heard was ticking from inside my own chest. Tick, tick, tick. I woke up at 7 a.m. on the lobby floor. The head nurse was looking down at me. "Rough night, Marcus?" I handed her my badge. "I quit." She smiled knowingly. "Of course you do. They always do." I left without looking back. Outside, I checked my wrist. No red line, no scar. I almost convinced myself it was a breakdown. Then I looked into the rearview mirror, and my reflection didn't move. It stayed perfectly still, smiling, its mouth opened wider, farther than any human jaw should. Rows of needle-sharp teeth unfolded, and from right next to my ear I heard the little girl whisper, "See you tonight." I don't work nights anymore. I covered every mirror in my house, but every night just before sleep, I hear it. Tick, 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 coming from right behind my ear. Have you ever been warned about something you hadn't done yet? Like someone already knew the mistake you were about to make. Tonight's story isn't just a horror story. It's a recorded incident. A call that came in and never truly ended. So if your phone rings tonight from an unknown number, don't answer it. Chicago, November 12th, 2016, 3:12 a.m. A blizzard had swallowed the city whole. The streets were empty. The world was silent. Inside a 911 dispatch center, David Miller adjusted his headset. 10 years on the job, he thought he had heard everything. He was wrong. 911, what is your emergency? At first, just breathing, shaky, uneven. Then suddenly, "Please, help me. My name is Sarah. There's someone outside my house." David straightened. "Ma'am, calm down. Tell me what you see." "He's in the garden, just standing there." Her voice trembled. "He's too tall, too still. And he doesn't have a face." David froze for a moment. Then training took over. "Listen to me. Lock all your doors and hide. Is there somewhere safe?" "My closet. I'm going there now." David tracked the GPS 42 Oak Street. Units were dispatched immediately. "Stay on the line with me, Sarah." Footsteps, a door opening, then closing. Darkness, only her breathing. Then a sound, soft, tapping on glass, slow, deliberate. "David," she whispered. "Yes, I'm here." "He's not outside anymore." "Then where is he?" "He's inside." A scream tore through the line, then silence. The call dropped. David's heart was racing. "Units, status, 2 minutes out." Not fast enough. Then his second line rang. Same number. "Sarah. Sarah, stay with me. The police are almost there." But the voice that answered was different, calm, empty. "Don't send them, David." "What? If they arrive, it will already be too late." "Sarah, is that you?" I didn't run. A slight distortion. I stayed, so it could learn. Learn what? How to be us. A strange sound echoed through the line. Wet, shifting, wrong. "He's inside me now, David." Her voice flickered. "He's learning how to speak, using my voice." David gripped his headset. "Who is inside you?" A pause. "The one who is soundless." Another pause. "The one who waits behind every reflection." The police radio crackled. "Dispatch, we're at 42 Oak Street." David exhaled. "What's your status?" "There's no house here." His stomach dropped. "It's a cemetery, abandoned." A beat. And there's a phone on a headstone. Static. And it's ringing. David looked at his monitor. The GPS signal was moving. Fast. New location. Dispatch center. His building. The lights flickered. Once, twice, then steady. David. The voice felt closer now. Are you looking at the screen? His breath caught. Yes. Don't. Too late. In the reflection of the monitor. He saw it. Sitting behind him. Too tall. Limbs bent the wrong way. Skin smooth like melted wax. And where its face should be. Nothing. Just a blank surface. Trying to smile. David couldn't move. It sees through your eyes now. The voice whispered. And now it knows your voice. The CCTV footage later showed David sitting still, talking, listening to nothing, at exactly 3:15 a.m. The footage glitched, and David Miller collapsed inward, like he was being pulled into the screen. Then he was gone. But 3 nights later, a new call came in. No number, no location, just a voice, weak, broken. Please. Don't hang up. Static. I can't get out of the line. The call disconnected. So if your phone rings tonight, and there's no number, think twice, because some calls don't come from the living.